But it's Lenny Solomon Live, show number 286. It's show number 286. Can you believe that? We are here on Chicago Blackhawks night. Take a look with my Connor Bedard jersey in white. I can't really see so much of it because I'm sitting, but we are entering a different stage right now in the Lenny Solomon Live series as this is day one. Take a look at the ticker tape right on my screen. Welcome to day one of the Four Corners Daniel Shlockathon. Go to www.fourcornersproject.org and support the cause. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I hope you guys are doing good. I'm raising my volume. See if that works. I want to hear from you. Make sure that we are coming through loud and clear. I believe we are. So it all started in 1984. In 1984, it was my second or third year with the band Kesher. As you could see over my shoulder right there. So our associate producer, Judy Hertzfeld, comes in. And so hello, Judy. We are here on day one. Day one. Oh, Steve, good to see you. Loud and clear. We are here. We are schlocking. Very good to see you, Susan. Okay. We're getting people coming in. So listen, here's the scoop, you guys. Today is day one of the Four Corners Daniel Shlockathon. I'm going to have to explain it. And then we're going to go on every single day until the end of the year from today, except for not Saturday nights, because Saturday nights is still Shabbat in America. I don't want you guys to be, for those of you that don't keep Shabbat, I don't want you to be watching on Shabbat my performance. And it's good to see you, Steve. Yes. So the thing is, we have to, but I'll be going on every single day because we have to raise money for the organization in order for things to happen. It all started in 84, like I was saying. Kesher, my first band, put out 3 albums. I wrote 13 out of the 28 songs. It was an unbelievable experience. And as I've told people, I was working as an accountant in 84. And in 1984, when I stepped foot into that studio, it was kind of like, in Matrix. I went into another world. And I was never going back into accounting, even though I'm still an accountant to this day, meaning I do my own books, I do some other people's books, I do some consulting in accounting, but I never got my CPA. I flunked the exam 3 times, and I think Hashem just wanted me to be a musician. Well, or maybe I just wanted to be a musician. Either way, depending on whether you feel that God is involved in every single aspect of your life or he just kind of observes you from afar. I'm the first believer. It's more of a Hasidic approach. I think God is totally directing you, totally guiding you. You get messages all the time, especially here in Israel. We're getting lots of messages. We're not going to talk about that right now. Today, we talk about the Shlockathon, the Daniel Four Corners Shlockathon. What's our fundraising goal? Here it is. $850,000, of which we've already raised $250,000. Now, here's the scoop. What is the money used for? Good question. What does Lenny need $850,000? Well, most of it is for Daniel in Babylon to become launched as a musical. The Four Corners Project is a fiscal sponsor of the LLC for Daniel in Babylon because Jewish education is the goal of Daniel in Babylon, teaches the book of Daniel, and the Four Corners Project is an educational institution which spreads informal Jewish education through music and media. Hence, there is a connection between the Four Corners Project and Daniel in Babylon. And what about Shlock Rock? Well, Shlock Rock is the for-profit arm here, but there is no more profit because people do not buy music anymore. So the only way Schlockrock would make a living would be through performance, of which there are no performances right now. At least not, I didn't have any because of, I'm here in Israel. We're in wartime. I had a Hanukkah party that I played. And yes, thank you, Samantha. So telling me from Chicago, she says, be safe in Israel. We are safe here. As long as you're not fighting, you're safe. As long as you're not on the border in Gaza or up north in Lebanon area. You are safe here. Occasionally you get a rocket and you get an alert and you have to go sit in your sealed room, but for 10 minutes, that's it. And the Iron Dome takes care of it. And we just had one last Friday night here in Beit Shemesh, which was very interesting. But let's get back to our as I talk to you about life in Israel. Life in Israel is amazing. Everybody, you got to come. You got to come to Israel. You got to move here. I know you're going to tell me, Lenny, what are you, crazy? We're in the middle of a war. No, I'm not crazy. I moved here 27 years ago. Don't have one regret, not one. Well, actually, the hardest part of moving to Israel was when I always say hello to Jason from Arizona, from Chandler, Arizona. Jason, good to see you. Now, listen, the only regret that I had was my father passed away, and I had to fly all night to the funeral. That was hard. I knew I would have had to do that. I am coming in at the end of January. I had to cancel my December trip because of the war. I'm coming in at the end of January for 3 weeks, and it'll be a fundraising trip and hopefully some gigs too. If you want to, I'd love to play the Super Bowl this year, and I'm not talking about the halftime show. It's in Nevada. It's in Las Vegas. I want to go to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl, play a show for the Jewish community, and then go to the game. Not sure how that's going to develop, but I'm manifesting now. We're manifesting. Did you ever watch that show Manifest on Netflix? It was a good show. I really liked it. We are manifesting a Super Bowl tour on February 11th. That'll be, but we got to play Phoenix too. We got to play Arizona also. So Arizona, Nevada. I want to do a weekend in Arizona, Nevada, and we got to go to LA. We got to be in LA. Got to do a West Coast trip. Anyway, so the budget. Let's get back to our Shlockathon because today is day one of the Four Corners Daniel Shlockathon, and here it is. Here's our fundraising goal: $850,000, which we've already raised $250,000. Now that means we have to raise $600,000. How exactly are we going to do that? Well, I have played for at least 250,000 people in my career. Let's assume we can get 3,000 of you to give $200 as a tax deduction. Now listen, the 3,000 of you that give the $200, you could break it up: $100 for the tax year 2023 and $100 for the tax year 2024, December and January. This is a 40-day. It is a 40-day fundraiser. Right? It's going to go till January 31st. We're going to raise all the money by January 31st so we can go to work. I've got a staff ready to go and make Daniel and Babylon come to life. It's you guys will be a part of it. Now, if you want to invest, you can also invest. Contact me separately, and we can talk about that. But this right now is our fundraiser for the year. I don't usually do that. I do it half-heartedly because I hate fundraising. Have you figured that out yet? My associate producer, Judy, knows how much I love fundraising. She knows it. And that is I'm being sarcastic. But we have to do this. Today is December 20th. Actually, it's ending. December 20th is ending. We got 11 days or 12 days till December 31st, and another 31 days. Let's call it 40 days. 40 days, we're going to raise $600,000. Can we do it? Yes, we can. 3,000 fans, $200. That's all we need. $100 in December, $100 in January. Okay, some of you who are a little bit more well off that want to do more, you can do more. Some of you that want to invest, you can actually invest in Daniel and Babylon. You have to contact me. Okay, so that's the story. That's what's going on. That's the day one of the Four Corners Daniel Shlockathon. So let's go back. As I will, I've already been speaking for 10 minutes, and what we're going to do is how do you, by the way, how do you donate? All you got to do is you got to go to www. It's coming up. That Four Corners Project, the number four, cornersproject.org, and there's a donate button. Just donate. You can do it PayPal. You can do it through Wiz Events, which is through Stripe. Whatever you want to do, it's easy. 2 clicks and you've donated, or 3 clicks, or whatever it is. Nothing hard here. We are not rocket scientists. My uncle Gus, he was a rocket scientist. We're going to talk about that. I'm releasing 2 free songs on my website. You'll see in the next day or two. You're also going to be getting some emails from me if you're on my mailing list. How did you get on my mailing list? If you ever purchased any downloads on the website, you're automatically in my mailing list, and you will get a newsletter in the next day or so as we go forward with the day one of the Four Corners Daniel Shlockathon. Yes, I came up with that name. You're going to say, whoever heard of such a silly name? No. Everything has to have the word schlock in it, or else it just doesn't go. It's the Shlockathon, and it's the Daniel Shlockathon, and it's the Four Corners Daniel Shlockathon. Yes. Now, Jason from Chandler, Arizona, is trying to get a concert there. That would be February. It would be Saturday night, February 10th. Then we'll drive to Nevada, do a show in Nevada, or it could be Thursday night, or whatever it is. We'll talk about it, Jason. When the event is. I mean, I can't tell you guys what to do. What about Rockville, Maryland? Well, we got to go to Rockville, Maryland during that time. Hopefully we'll have a weekend in Rockville, Maryland, and maybe Baltimore as well. Got to go to Norfolk, Virginia. I've been to so many places in America. God afforded me with the honor of going to every state in the United States. With a lot with Eitan G, a lot with the original band. You remember the original band? Gary Wallen on drums, Mark Skyer on bass, Yona Lloyd on guitar, Danny Block on sax, Mark Infield on percussion, myself on the keys. And we had such a great time. And then Dave Hirsch came, played bass. Roy Weinberger played drums. Roy Weinberger played the most shows as the drummer of Schlock Rock. Now, what happens is that in between Mike Roth, and then Mike Roth made Aliyah. Mike Roth is now my number one drummer here in Israel, and I play with him all the time. Yona Lloyd moved to Israel. He's here. We do shows. We had a great show in Tel Mond in September, but obviously, September is before October 7th. Once October 7th came, that was kind of the end of that. There were no more shows. I had one Hanukkah party. And then I had one Hachnasat Torah dedication. You know what that is? A friend of mine wrote a Torah, had a party, hired me actually. And we had a nice time, very nice time. I was in Jerusalem. So I've had 3 gigs since then, since September 10th, and then 2 in December. We had a Hanukkah party for Yeshiva Reshit Yerushalayim. That was first night of Hanukkah. And the week before, we did this Hachnasat Torah, which was in a yeshiva, in a kollel. Rabbi Daniel Travis, who used to be in Gypsy. If Rob Springer, if you're watching, he went to Bronx Science Gypsy. Yeah. So those were the days, the Gypsy days, Jewish public school youth. That's how I knew that Schlock Rock could be a curriculum. What does Schlock Rock do? It teaches Judaism, and you don't even know you're learning. That's the greatest part about it. You're just enjoying. That's the point. That's the key. Enjoy. Don't think. Just enjoy. A friend of mine, I used to produce this guy. He had an album coming out, and he was he as the singer was producing, but he had hired me to be the producer. So finally I turned around to him and said, "You just sing. You're thinking too much. Just sing. I'll do the producing. You do the singing. Well, that's the point. You got to. This, I don't know how I got off to the tangent, but production is one thing. Performance. God gave me the ability to be able to perform. Best part of my job, though, when anybody asks, is always writing, recording, producing, and then releasing the song. So we have these two new songs that are coming out. Back to the two new songs. One is called "Weeping for the Killers." It's a current event piece, which I rarely do. It was written originally by my uncle Gus, may he rest in peace, in 1970. He called it "Weeping for the Muggers," and I changed it to "Weeping for the Killers." He wrote it about the New York crime problem, and I changed it to talk about October 7th. It's a great song. It's going to be on the website. It's going to be free, or it'll be on Spotify. It might be on Spotify now already. No, I don't think so. I don't think so yet. Also, all the parody albums, because of Eitan G, are being put on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube and everything. They're all there. We're working on it, and also Shlockathon is becoming an official artist channel, which we never did before. That's thanks to Eitan G. Eitan G is into this stuff, and I personally just like making music. You know what I'm saying? There's directors, there's producers, but songs I can produce. Anyway, so we have these two songs. One song is called Lo Yishama. It's from the verse in Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 18. Lo Yishama od Hamas be'atzech, right? Lo Yishama od Hamas be'atzech, Shod vashever bigvulayich, and then Vikarat, I have it here. Yeah, here it is. V'karad Yeshua chomotayich usharayich tehila. What does that mean? It means there should not be violence in your land, rack and ruin at your borders. You will call salvation your walls, and you will call your gates praise. Tehillah means praise. So, I almost forgot the words again. Friend of mine said, "I can't believe you forgot words." Hardly ever do I forget words, but for this song somehow, because it's a heavy topic. So these two songs are heavy songs, but they're great songs. They're going to be out on the website. They're going to be on the Schlock website. They're going to be on the Four Corners website. You'll be able to get them if you're on the newsletter. You'll be able to get them free. My present from me to you. What do I want from you guys? I want you to go to fourcornersproject.org. I want you to support the Daniel Shlockathon, day one of the Four Corners Daniel Shlockathon. Now, I want you to know, so what about Schlock Rock? What's the budget for Schlock Rock? We have a new album coming out this year. I will give you a hint. We have a Supertramp song that we're going to be schlocking, an Elton John song going to be schlocking. It's music of the 70s, stuff that I missed the first time around. It's going to be great. Planet Hall and Oates song. It's going to be unbelievable. Then we have that. We have 5 music videos that we're going to be making that have to come out every 2 to 3 months. That's the impact. The impact of the world today is video. It's you have to be visual. And what else are we going to do? And then we have, of course, Lenny Solomon Live, which we do 75 to 100 shows a year. And finally, of course, Daniel. So Daniel is a big budget. Daniel is a $750,000 budget, and we are raising money for it. You're going to say, why is it costing so much? It's costing so much because we're making a theatrical live stream, meaning you'll be able to watch it from your home, just like Hamilton did on Disney Plus. By the way, they got paid $75 million for that. This is pittance. But we've got a great director. The director was the original Maggie in A Chorus Line. Her name is Kay Cole. She's unbelievable. Unbelievable. She's ready to get to work. All we need is the funding. And I'm not asking you guys to give me $600,000 in one shot, although that would be pretty amazing. 3,000 fans, $200. That's it. 100 in December, 100 in January. Write to me, Lenny@schlockrock.com. Tell me that's what you're going to do. And I will be very, very happy. And we will do it. We will put it together. And this is day one of the Four Corners Daniel Shlockathon. So that's the scoop. Now, we started talking a little bit about Kesher. So when I stepped into the name of the studio was called Systems 2 on Nostrand Avenue and Nostrand Avenue and Avenue U. And once I got into that studio, it was never turning. I was never turning back. It was just like I told my boss in accounting, I'm not going to be able to be an accountant. But I stayed there for another 2 years, working 4 days a week, and on weekends I did Shabbatons with NCSY. And then finally, that was from 1985 to 88. Now, Schlockrock started in January of 86. That means this January coming up, which is my birthday month, January 9th, Chaf Aleph Tevet, the 21st day of Tevet. Schlockrock turns 38 years old. 38 years old. Can you believe that? Because the first album came out on January 26th, Learning is Good, and the rest was history. It took 3 months for it to catch on, and God did it all. I didn't do anything. All I did was write. He gave me the inspiration to write, and luckily he's still giving me the inspiration. As my good friend Maishi always says, you have 20 to 30 years left of creativity. Keep going. My friend Maishi always says. So he said that to me in 2015, which means I still have at least 15 years of creativity that we got to keep going. And people say, when are you going to retire? I ain't never retiring, ever. No retirement for me. Retirement, who wants to retire? We want to do. The key is to do, ladies and gentlemen. The key is we want to be involved in helping bring Mashiach through music. That's our goal. That's what we do. We help bring Mashiach through music. That's what Schlockrock has done. And it's the best. Yes. Here we go. Nostrand Avenue and Avenue U, practically spitting distance from where I grew up. That was the studio, Systems 2. It was called Systems 2. And then from there, the second album, I did at a place in Bayside. It wasn't Bayside. It was Holliswood. Gotti Bodinger was the engineer. Steve Bill was the arranger. It was my first relationship with Steve. He played guitar. He also arranged Kesher 2 and Kesher 3. Now, who's in Kesher, the band? On the first album, Tzvi Pill and I were partners, and we also had Joey Friedman on bass. Tzvi played drums, Joey played bass, and Shlomo Horowitz played guitar. Now, on the second album, Shlomo gets married, moves to Baltimore. Second album, we had Yonah Lloyd becomes the guitar player. Joey Friedman stays on bass, myself on keyboard, and Tzvi Pill on drums. And for the third album, which was in 87, Tzvi Pill on drums. Joey got married and moved to Memphis. Who took over? Jonathan Rimberg. Jonathan Rimberg came into the band both as a bass player and as a keyboard player. So we had myself on keyboard and him as second keyboard and bass. And Yonah stayed and Tzvi stayed. And then what happened was that I had told Tzvi that I couldn't continue with Kesher because I didn't want to be a wedding band. I wanted to be a Jewish rock and roller. And this is all stuff that I should be putting in my book, which I haven't yet written. But I wanted to be a Jewish rock and roller. I didn't want to be a wedding player. So I was at that point that I broke away, and Schlockrock did its first concert September 87, the first 2 weeks of September, one in Montreal, one in Toronto, and then the next show was with the actual band. So that was just by myself. I might have had a musician with me playing with me from Canada, from NCSY in Central Canada. And then in 87, December of 87, I played a weekend in Bayonne and Smithtown, Long Island that was with the band, and Schlockrock started taking off. And from 88 to 96, I did 100 shows a year. 100 shows a year. It was unbelievable. It was every city. I remember playing 16 concerts in 19 days over a Hanukkah tour, where every night we were in a different city. People say, oh, you can't do that in Jewish music. Yes, we could, and we did. And we didn't have $60 million in sponsorships like the Eagles or the Stones We didn't have any sponsors. We just got a fee. We got a fee from the community and we got paid. We should have had sponsors. That would have been the right thing. Did any of you see the Taylor Swift movie, the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie? Because I actually saw it. Two of my daughters went with me. Well, they were the ones that wanted to see it, and I went along. And it was unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. It reminded me of Bruce Springsteen when I went to see Springsteen back in the Meadowlands. But my first real non-Jewish concert, my first Jewish concert, I saw a bunch of great Jewish concerts. And then we'll get back to my non-Jewish concerts. But the first Jewish concerts that I went to see were Shlomo Carlebach and Judea, which was in 79, 80. And then I also saw, of course, the Diaspora Yeshiva Band, fourth floor of the Queens College Hillel. They came. So that would have had to been between 78 and 82. And those were my Jewish concerts. And then I went in 77 or 78. I saw Billy Joel in Madison Square Garden. I also saw Squeeze at Nassau Coliseum. You guys remember the band Squeeze? I'm dating myself. I know. Squeeze, REM, and Flock of Seagulls. They all played it. Flock of Seagulls and REM opened up for Squeeze. Okay, and then what else did I see? I once saw Duran Duran in concert. I once saw John Cougar in concert. I once saw Gloria Estefan in concert. But anyway, I will tell you that movie, that Taylor Swift movie, was really, really good. It was better than going to the show, because the show is 3 hours, 45 minutes. This was only 2 hours, 45 minutes. They knocked an hour off from the concert. I don't know all her songs. I know some of her songs, but it reminded me of seeing Springsteen in the Meadowlands, and that he was unbelievable. Anyway, the key is, you ladies and gentlemen, as I have spoken now for 27 minutes, I wanted to do a 30-minute show today because I want to give you guys an opportunity. Go to fourcornersproject.org. It's day one. Let's get this fundraiser going. We got to raise $600,000 and do it. Let's do it. If you have any issues, you want to know what the budget is, I'll show you budgets. I'll show you whatever you want to see. The money goes to make these projects. That's what we do. It's what has to happen. Money goes to make the projects, and it's to spread Jewish pride, identity, and awareness all over the world. Mashiach's coming. We have to be a part of it, and you can be a part of it too. And it's very exciting. Very exciting. All right, you guys. We've done it now. We've done 28 minutes. We got 2 minutes left. Any questions? Anyone? Any questions from my friends on the chirping in? I see people were writing to me from Facebook, from YouTube. Any LinkedIn people? Still don't see any LinkedIn people. There must have been some, but hopefully they're getting the feed. We have 8 channels this goes out to. And that's the scoop. So we will see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night will be day 2 of the Four Corners Daniel Shlockathon. I will play music tomorrow. I will also talk, but I'll play music. So we will have a nice show. I think it was a really nice fundraising opening. I feel like we're Channel 55 in Long Island, where they always have those telethons. That's what it's called. It's a telethon. This is a Shlockathon. That's how I got to it. Oh boy, I didn't even remember how I came to the word Shlockathon. I thought marathon. No. It's a Shlockathon. It's a telethon. This is your internet thought. All right, we got 15 seconds to go, and then we're gonna call it a night. Guys, be in touch with me. New songs coming out. Everything is happening. Be a part of it. Be a part of the King of Shlock and his men, his merry men, as we keep going in the middle of this very intense war. Very intense war. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing what we do, because there's no other choice. There's no other choice. Got to do what you got to do. All right, everybody. We will see you tomorrow night for day 2. Keep on schlocking. See you tomorrow on Lenny Solomon Live.